Hello everybody, PsyStarcraft here with another Heart of the Swarm commentary. This is another Zerg versus Protoss. Tend to be a lot of Protoss players in STARBOW. I'm going to be PsyStarcraft in the top left as the pink Zerg, and my opponent is going to be Wonkman in the bottom right as the green Protoss. Wonkman is a Grand Master in Heart of the Swarm, so you can bet that he's going to be pretty strong at STARBOW as well. So I gotta say, I'm a bit confused. You guys saw the TT1 cast. That should be uploaded first, although I haven't actually uploaded it as of casting this, but I'm trying to predict the future here. You guys saw the TT1 cast had a lot of trouble with Storm and, you know, scouting and lurker protection and that kind of thing. So we'll see if I can fix that this game. This map is Destination, Neo Destination. It's a two-player map. You can see the double choke leading up into the natural. And there's also an interesting little mineral patch leading into the main / into a mineral patch and a potential third base if you don't count the mineral patch as a third. And the way you get rid of this is just by mining it for a little while. You can see it has 90 minerals. You just have to mine it for about a minute or so, and that'll go away. So you can use that to your advantage as the player who is here to, you know, take a pretty safe base over here. Very long route for the opponent to get there. Or you can use it as the opponent and, you know, come in the back door right into the main, circumvent the natural. So pretty neat little thing right there. Always helps to have a pylon, supply depot, or overlord on top of that. So as we were seeing, I'm going to be going with another 12 hatch and learning from the TT1 game. I'm going to be scouting with my drone. That way if he has a gateway first, I can be ready for any zealot timings. If he goes Nexus first, I can just get a quick third and drone up. That kind of thing. So against Toss, I tend to lean towards Hydras as opposed to Mutas, like 5 hatch Hydra as opposed to 3 hatch Muta, because Corsairs are pretty good, although Scourge do very well against Corsairs. If a Toss can chrono boost out a lot of Corsairs, they can easily micro against Scourge and like 3 or 4 shot them just with one clump of, you know, Corsair. Well, one shot them with like 4 or 5 Corsair beams against a bunch of Scourge, and then your meters are just kind of useless. So one thing you don't want to do against Protoss, especially because of Corsair, is ignore anti-air. So you're probably going to want a fairly fast evolution chamber because your Hydras can't be everywhere. You're going to want to babysit your Overlords, and you're going to want to go for either Spire or Hydraless Den. Roaches are pretty damn bad in STARBOW. I've only used them once or twice, and I've tried to use them to snipe High Templar. I tried to use them for like flanking, but the problem is, even if you flank, they just don't do enough damage for how much they cost. So it's not really useful. This drone is actually hammering away pretty nicely at this photon cannon. Wow, you can like use 2 drones and kill a cannon as it's producing, I think. He's going to notice this and he's going to be like, stop it, drone, I want my cannon to be at full life. Cannon being repositioned. It was here, but this doesn't quite cover the top ramp and the mineral line. So he's repositioned the cannon to cover the mineral line, and rightly so. This probe going down in my natural. Queen's popping out, doing some injecting. Now, I like to save my extra energy with my queen to transfuse a macro hatchery. You'll see in the main I do want to connect creep just in case I need to bring my queens down to the natural. Plus it increases regen rates of your units. But with my natural queen I usually just transfuse. So we're seeing a pretty standard opening for both players. I'm just going to want to drone up a lot. We can see the drone ready to prepare a third base, and down it goes. And we'll see where Wonkman decides to go. Is he going to go Stargate, or is he going to go for a Templar Archives? Templar Archives is very, very powerful against early Hydras because it has Zealot speed, and Zealots, as I said in the TT1 game, incredibly effective against Hydras. They take so little damage, they're faster than Hydras, they do so much damage. It's just insane how good Zealots are in STARBOW. And, you know, of course, Stargate is good as well, as we're seeing right here, because Corsairs, just very obnoxious. They kill a lot of Overlords. We can see the Hydrogen on the way as well. 1 gas is sufficient for Zerg for quite a while. And we're going to be working on saturating our third. He was hiding a probe, so he has seen that Hydrogen. He realizes his Corsairs might not have a lot of lasting potential because I'm not going Aspire, and maybe won't produce too many. So we are seeing a Twilight Council, and this is most likely a response because of the Hydrogen. Like I said before, Zealot speed, incredibly effective against Hydras. 1 Zealot trying to be a little bit annoying, but I'm going to be backing off the slings. Perhaps producing just a couple of Hydras to thwart this Zealot's probe. Insane force, maybe even using the Enrage on the Swarm Queen. However, Enrage is something you kind of want to save with your queen. I'm going to be moving these drones out of the way, trying to surround the Zealot, taking down the probe, losing one drone, probably a little bit of a mistake there. This queen's still not enraging, going to back these slings off. 4 Hydras on the way, and the Hydras will be able to clean up the Zealot pretty easily. Are the Lings going to be able to chase it down? See, look how little damage the Hydras do. They do 5 damage -1, so they actually do 4 damage to a Zealot, which is pretty piss poor, I gotta say. And oh, look who just signed on. Maybe I can get another game with him in a little bit here, but able to take down one of those Zealots. Going to be rallying my Hydras down to his natural, just because I don't expect him to have Zealot speed very soon, so he can't really like chase down my units if I overcommit. And also my Hydra speed is almost up, so that's good. Going to be microing these Lings once again. Third base becoming saturated. Harvester count 35 to 28 now. This is already looking much better than the TT1 game, seeing 7 more Harvesters than the opponent this early in the game, forcing him to make a couple extra cannons because he's scared of the Hydra threat. Hydra speed has now completed. My 4th hatchery going down, 5th hatchery going down. This Corsair isn't going to get a lot done. And we can see he's only got 2 Corsairs on the map. He's not even bothering to chrono boost them out. He's saving his chrono perhaps for the Templar archives. Just because, you know, he's seen the Hydras on the map already. He's being a little bit annoying against this Overlord, but the Hydra is going to take down these shields. Now, one thing I can say for Hydras is they do full damage against all shields. So Zealots, while they do take only 4 damage from a Hydra shot, their shields take full damage, so it'll be 10. Checking out this mineral patch, is finding somewhere to hang out at. This base is almost fully saturated in minerals. This base is as well. All 3 bases looking pretty good. The main a little bit sparse actually. 1 Spore Crawler going down just for good measure, just to defend against any Corsairs that do something like this. And Overlord speed is kind of something. Oh, able to pick up 1 Corsair, so good little pickup right there. DT out on the map as well, and this is standard Brood War tactic, is Corsair DT. Now, the thing that makes DT so strong in STARBOW is Overlords don't detect like they do in Brood War. They're incredibly powerful, and you're seeing 1 DT going to my 3rd, which doesn't yet have a spine and a spore, which hopefully I'll be getting soon. There it is. There's the spine, but there's no detection. There's no spore. This queen has full energy. Needs to be dropping some tumors or injecting or doing something. Overseer now on the way. Do I have Overlord speed? Yes, Overlord speed on the way as well. How many units do I have on the map? 10 Hydras compared to very little from the Protoss, but he does have a lot of cannons, so that's keeping him safe. I just need to get these Hydras in position to take out this DT. So some good damage being dealt by Wonkman. We can see the DT in the main not yet getting any kills, and finally the one in the 3rd being taken down. These Corsairs still flying around searching for Overlord kills. This Hydra's like, no, I don't want you to kill any of my Overlords. Oh, and he's overextending a little bit. This Corsair almost being taken down. Not quite though. And enraged from these 2 queens on these 2 hatcheries, taking down that Dark Templar. So the Protoss player is still on 2 base. However, his Harvester count doing pretty well. He takes down 11 workers, which, you know, I should realize that tech in this game is much simpler. It's a lot easier to go Corsair into DT. You don't have to have tons of economy. You don't have to be like full on, you know, raging economy or anything like that. So it seems like a spine and the spore is almost a necessity to get immediately, especially at the 3rd base, and especially when you see a Corsair target firing those Overlords. I mean, I guess they can't really attack anything else, but not managing my bases too well at this point. But that's something I'll learn. I feel like I'll learn that. Who knows? Lair on the way, as well as a Hydralisk Den. +1 attack almost finished. And man, Overlord's rallies are the most frustrating thing in the world. Like, it's really something unique to Zerg. The Overlord rallies are going in, taking down a quick cannon, getting shot by the other cannons though. And Zealot's so strong. So just look how long it takes these Hydras just to kill. Like, I didn't kill any Zealots there. It just takes so long to kill these Zealots. And, you know, that's really what Lurkers are for, so you can kind of push in with the Hydras, retreat back to the Lurkers. However, my Lurker Den not quite finished. Oh, he's got a bad rally, but I don't even notice it. Not quite able to move my Hydras under those Corsairs. And now he's just going to be sniping even more Overlords. So this DT Corsair action is going to be keeping up. I'm continuing to rally Hydras. Got a mixture of Hydras and drones. If we check out the drone count, it's now tied at 50. However, I'm on 3 base, so I think I'm distributing my mining a little bit better. Almost losing a Corsair. Got to be careful to spread my Overseers when he does finally decide to engage. I don't need to lose these Overseers, but because then I won't have any detection for the DTs. Might be able to destroy this Forge. Looks like he's actually supply capped. His first High Templar on the way. Forge does go down. That +1 attack, very critical against you know, shields and, you know, normal units like Archons and Dragoons. Maybe even take down the Gateway. No, 1 Overseer going down. Oh, he's trying to take down the other Overseers, but he overextends and loses every single Corsair. Oh my goodness, Roach Warren on the way as well. Possibly could have run up into the main. Not able to, kind of getting myself bottlenecked on the ramp, and beautiful storms going down and no micro whatsoever. Oh my god. Oh my god. No micro whatsoever, and he has no units. If I would have just microed those Hydras, I probably could have ended the game right there, but my attention apparently was elsewhere. Roach Warren. Actually, I remember what was happening in this. I kept trying to build a Roach Warren. BR, BR, BR. Oh shit. No. No. I kept trying to build a Roach Warren by pressing BR over and over, and then I realized, shit, Roach Warren is an advanced structure now, and then my Hydras got started, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? So that was a pretty big mistake. Probably not a mistake you should make every day. Now mining off of the gas here. Not mining off the gas in the third. About to get that. Fourth base coming up. I feel like this is a poor location for a fourth base. It's very close to the choke of his natural. It's just a short distance away. I feel like this would have been a much better fourth base to take, and as you can see, he's expecting that as well. Corsair scouting this fourth, DT scouting this fourth. Nice clump of Hydras and Lings, a couple Roaches on the way. We can see he still doesn't have a lot except for some Zealots. However, just like against CT1, I don't have any Banelings and I don't have any Lurkers. I'm spending my money on useless Roaches. However, you guys will get to see some Roaches, so I guess that's good. Hydra's very powerful against Archons, but the question is, oh my god, Storm does so much. Look at that, 75 energy. This is 75 energy. My goodness. So much more powerful than in StarCraft 2 is Storm in STARBOW. It is so absurd. Not to mention the upgrade that the Templar can get to increase their energy regeneration rate by 25%. It's only 100, so Templar very, very powerful, and we're not seeing one of the best responses to Templar in this situation. Lurkers. And how many times am I going to say that? I'm not getting Lurkers. I'm not getting Lurkers. Looks like he's actually taking his third base, which is a mineral heavy base. So that's going to allow him even more production of Zealots. Lots of Lings, lots of Roaches on the way. So my plan at this point is, alright, I don't have a lot of gas. I don't know if I want to get Lurkers because I'm bad. Maybe I can get some Roaches, research the burrow upgrade, which allows them to burrow underground and resurface after a short distance. Maybe I can use that. Oh wow, they receive reduced damage too. I didn't know that. Maybe I can use that to burrow behind and snipe the High Templar. But look at the Roach's attack. It's 18 damage at 2 seconds. It's almost identical to StarCraft 2's attack damage. And that's not a lot of damage. They actually have one less range as well. Yikes. So we'll see how well this tactic actually works. Wonkman picking up his fourth. I've kind of let down on the pressure, and especially when my opponent has Storm. Probably not a good idea to let off on the pressure. This space being skirmished once again, losing a lot of harvesters. This queen has a ton of energy, so that kind of tells you how I've been doing as far as my injects go. These two aren't injecting either. The macro mechanics in this are actually more difficult than in StarCraft 2, but I like them better. It's not like you have to look at your base every second and inject at the perfect time. You can inject whenever you get free time and just to reset it, which I think is better. Okay, so here's my idea. Burrow these Roaches in, unburrow on top of the Templar, try to snipe them all, and then go in with the Hydras and Lings. But, I mean, I still don't have any splash for these Zealots. So let's see how this actually ends up going down. Oh, there's the unburrow sniping! 1, 2, but the storms are already going down. All the Roaches just melting to the Zealots and Archons and everything. Everything just getting massacred. Roaches are not a good unit. I mean, it's easy to say I messed up that engagement, which I probably did. I mean, it's so hard to micro against Storm with just Hydras and Roaches. But the Roaches are just not a worthwhile unit. That gas would have been much better spent on... I wonder how much a Roach Warren cost. Oops, that's not how you check. That gas would have been much better spent on 150. On Lurkers. Now, Lurkers are really the thing that's been missing in both of these ZvPs. I don't remember what the Brood War metagame was as far as, you know, Lurkers and stuff like that goes, but as we can see, he's looking for another fourth. He's probably wondering, where the hell is your fourth, Psy? You are a crazy motherfucker. 2 spines in the third, trying to deter these Zealots. Lots of Hydras, but these Zealots just soak up so much damage. Storm lasts forever, running into the Storm and losing tons of health. Even after you think it's going to finish, trying to micro the Storms once more. Moving into the Storm again because it lasts so damn long. Microing out of the Storm, but it doesn't really matter, and moving into it again. I just expect it to end, and it never ends. So I'm just losing so many units carelessly to all these Storms. These Zealots taking down the drones in the third. and Spire on the way, and I realized, okay, roaches are terrible. I don't know why I tried to get roaches. Maybe I can try the whole Muta thing, snipe High Templars with Mutas. But, you know, none of that really matters if I can't clean up this attack. Looks like we're both at +2 attack, Hydras and Zealots. However, Zealots benefiting much more because they have double attacks, plus they do full damage to Hydras, while Hydras only do full damage to Dragoons and Archons. Oh my gosh. Trying to find this Archon, pick it off. All the Protoss units seem so fast compared to the Zerg units in this. I wonder if that's how it was in Brood War. I don't remember how the speed of the Gateway units in Brood War were in relation to, you know, Zerg units. So I'm now running on 2 base, very few harvesters, very little tech. I've just, you know, got T2 tech. I do have a hive, however, a hive's not going to do a whole lot. I'm making sure my opponent knows Roach is fucking useless. Apparently I scared him, so I guess if I can scare him to have a heart attack and then he, like, forgets to A move before he keels over, then I might be able to win. Worse than Hydras and SC2. Yeah, he gets that comparison. So obviously in STARBOW there's a lot of learning going on. People still not really sure, you know, what the metagames are and stuff like that. Clearing out these Zealots so I can hopefully expand to a 4th base, but my larva count is so low right now I don't have enough to make units to drone up this base and drone up this base as well. That's why it's so important to protect your bases from those early DTs, from those Zealot skirmishes, stuff like that. Maybe even get like 3+ spines in each base. I'm not really sure. My opponent, Wonkman, taking a 5th now. This mineral field actually, I think that would be pretty good for Zerg, because Zerg, like normally in StarCraft 2 you see a mineral only base and you're like, oh well, Zerg doesn't need that, but in STARBOW Zerg actually really do need minerals, so I need to stop looking at the space as a waste and maybe take it because of how safe it is. So it's definitely something my brain has to get over how not unimportant minerals used to be for Zerg. They're actually pretty damn important now. I actually ended one game in a loss. I had 2,800 excess gas, which is, I mean, you guys know how insane that is. So I'm kind of just hanging out. He's just amassing a perfect army, and I'm just waiting to die, essentially. So we'll see these Templar get some more amazing storms, see if I have any detection for these DTs or not. And then it's probably going to be it unless I pull out something miraculous. See, he doesn't have a lot of anti-air, but 3 Archons against the Mutas that clump so well. Very, very powerful. The Mutas clump almost too well. I feel like the AI of the Mutas in STARBOW will be changed just a little bit. Burrowing some lurkers. Looks like I have some on the right side, and he doesn't have an observer. So just think it's 23 minutes into the game, and these lurkers are already doing like this much work. They're preventing him from moving into a certain location, doing tons of damage to these Zealots. Look at this, like even 3 lurkers that died almost immediately just did so much damage to the Zealots. Mutas flying in recklessly, Hydra's shooting away at the Zealots, and you know how that interaction goes. Another storm going down, not even bothering to micro, realizing this is probably about it, and the GG Wonkman takes that game after what could have been a pretty quick win had I microed these fucking Hydras, but you know, distracted by the Roach Warren, and roaches are useless. I would have recommended some lurker drops. I really need to do lurker drops because I always have a lot of excess gas, because, you know, Hydras don't cost a lot of gas. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. Another pretty high quality game showing you the dangers of Storm. It's like the Colossus of STARBOW. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. More stuff to come. Hopefully some ZVZs and ZVTs. But as always, thanks for watching.